Good evening, sis.
Yeah.
Evening. We'll start in 5 minutes. Mimi is running late, but we'll start.
Okay.
Hope you can hear me clearly.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can hear you clearly. We can hear you clearly.
Hope. So we'll give some people time to come in. We'll start 6:05.
Well, so
I think I have to. I think I'm having a back this and I'm coming. Let me backspace. 1 minute. Let me move my YouTube.
I shift to maybe. But it's okay. Listen. Okay, we're in the middle. Yeah, so it's fine. So that you. Oh. Angasekana kodwa order nabe angasekana kodwa maybe it's part of the program. This like what they do more every Friday or monthly. I don't have the information. At the end of today, you look at. Wow. I'm going there. Not all life. Not only for yourself, I hear you. Not to grab. Vedete che CNN documento nella installation comunque she was having sex and unfortunately she was having sex with somebody that wasn't her husband and he was a meeting. Yet I'm asking for Mechalo and what her offer. And no, but the team members could have even shut it down. They didn't shut it down. Oh. Now, a CNN top analyst, they sack him, he's a contributor, but CNN offers him a free job. And the mother saying, I say it's his personal life. But the main company where he's working for sacked him.
Hello. Okay, we're about to start. I think good evening. Let me put on my video. Give me a few seconds. I'm having a background echo. I'm trying to remove, but it seems not to be working out. So we'll manage it like that for now. Fine. Okay. So We're here.
Hello.
Hello. It's a pleasure to see you both.
Yes,
Always a pleasure.
Always.
Our pleasure too.
Okay, so with no further ado, we have to start because we are live on YouTube and we are live here. And as our Nigerian Ohala Day, people will join us in between the conversation, but we must keep it professional and start on time. Before we start, we just want to remind people watching that this is Keeping Marriage Alive Initiative Relationship Clinic. This was created to help couples find themselves, renew their love, build a life worth emulating, and build a legacy. So we termed it the 3 L's: love, life, legacy. That's what we are doing in Relationship Clinic. It's been on for 1 year. Keep Marriage and Life Initiative. I'm as one of the founders. And today's conversation, I really like it. Your belief system, the roadmap to successful relationships and marriage. With all that is happening right now in the world, I think this is a very key topic. But before we begin and introduce our wonderful guest speakers, who we really, 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 really appreciate. So for everyone coming in, for coming late, you have to apologize. This couple take out their time. We love them. I believe they love us. I will say, we love them as they love us. Because there is beauty in having common values of what life should be. So before we go further, let me just introduce a bit of who we are.
A habit shop that caters to the needs in marriages, families, and society. That's who we are. That's what we represent. Our vision is healing marriages, empowering the society. And our mission is to create awareness of the role of man and woman in the building and restructuring of the family system, with intent to build a healthy and sustainable society.
Yes. And we have with us the highly acclaimed counselors, Dimma Nedu, married counselors and founders of Ultra Bliss, the happiness place. They're also the founders of Dimma Nedu Mobi International. We'll be inviting them and they will talk a bit about themselves because their profile is much, but they like keeping it simple. So please welcome on board our beloved Dimma and Nedu.
Wow. Our pleasure.
It's our pleasure.
So over to you. Can you just introduce yourself a bit before we go into the conversation for today, please? Okay. A bit more of yourself.
Okay, I'm Dimma Wobi. My tribe and friends, and I believe
your volume is a bit low.
Oh, really? Can you hear me better?
Yes, yes.
I said I'm Dimma Wobi, and my friends and tribe, which I know everyone connected to KMA is also a member of my tribe.
Yes.
So you can call me the Queen of Happiness and Human Flourishing.
Yeah.
Because I think that what I wake up every day to do is first of all to cheer myself, cheer my family, and cheer humanity to be the authentic selves and enjoy a happy, meaningful life. So whether you are married, whether you are single, whether you are working, I just support humanity to make the most of this once in a lifetime life.
Okay, that's good question. And however, we have a joint vision and mission in life, and which we have been pursuing for.
I think sorry, Tinda. I think your voice is still down a bit. I don't know if it's from my end. Please, okay, anybody that is on YouTube, can you give us a chat to be sure that you can hear us from there? Anybody on YouTube should please help us out. Let me put a chat on. Okay, continue, sir.
Okay, Dim and I have been sharing this vision and goal on building lives, marriages, and every aspect of life, and it's our belief that building a legacy living through examples, through role modeling, through speaking, through encouraging people, will help people live a better life, especially at the circumstances they found themselves. So the happiness place is about creating that lifestyle of flourishing where people can have an engagement and have tools that will help them live a meaningful life.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So today's conversation is all about your belief system, the roadmap to successful relationship and marriage. To open the floor, I want to just ask you to share your story of how you are when you got married. What was your belief system about marriage? Just a bit to help the ones that because the beautiful thing about this Zoom this live meeting we're having is recorded live on YouTube. People can go back. We'll share the links. People can go back and watch again and again and glean beautiful insights. This conversation revolves around both singles, engaged, and of course, married couples. So we would like to share what when you met, your belief system. How did it work? Let's just
And what has changed since then? All these years.
Before we get to it, okay? See this one of them smile. I like this twins. So okay.
He said I should go first, so let me start. So
Okay.
when we met, like our marriage is 17 years, 18 years, right? 18 years this year, precisely in July. So we've been together for 18 years. Prior to getting married, we happened to have also been friends from church. So the first place where we met was in the prayer meeting in church. And so from there we became friends, and then we started to talk and all of that. I guess from the beginning, one of the things that attracted us to one another was, in fact, in line with today's topic, the belief system. First of all, fundamentally about what our place in the life of humanity. Because I remember then we had somebody who was part of us in the youth fellowship, and under some circumstances, she got pregnant outside of wedlock, and it was like she had committed a taboo. Every other, let me say most people in the fellowship distanced themselves from her. Nobody wanted to be associated, because even some of the elders in church made it look like, oh, see that your friend, is that the person you're moving with? And then one of the days I went to this lady's house to visit her, because I did not validate what she did, but I was somebody who had a belief system that a person may have done wrong, or may have, in our case, gotten married, gotten pregnant outside of wedlock, but that does not mean that she should be abandoned. That does not mean she's a terrible person. So the behavior may have been bad, but you don't throw away the baby and the bathwater. And coincidentally, as I got to our house, I met him there. He had also come to visit the lady, because for him personally, he did not feel that the way she was ostracized was also the best way. I mean, if God had said in the Bible that the shepherd can leave 99 of the sheep and go looking for the one, how can somebody, because she got pregnant and she has been part of us, then everybody abandon her? So for me, that was a first insight of, oh, this person has a belief system that aligns with the kind that I have. And so from there, we progressed to talk about, when we started talking about marriage, we were talking about, so what's the kind of marriage you want? What's the kind of home? And as the conversation continued, we began to notice that we actually had some shared values and the belief system. And the rest, like they say, is history.
Is history. That's a good one. That's a very good one. So, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah.
Mama said you must have.
Prior to our meeting together, I observed marriages around me, marriages of people who are related to you, marriages of people who you are looking up to, and especially within the community, the Christian community. So by getting close to these mentors on the spiritual journey, I found that there is a missing link between what they express as joy, contentment, and fulfillment in their spiritual journey from their marriage. That got me curious. I started questioning, why would somebody flourish in the spiritual and other aspects of human life and totally become a failure, or express some great dissatisfaction in their marriage? And that was the first thing that makes me to begin to look at what are the things that make happy marriages work. What are the because I want to be happy, I want to live a kind of life I'll be proud of, a kind of. So I come from a background from Elsumi, Mnewi, precisely local government, where the male dominance is very prevalent, and everything about life is centered on the man. So the woman is sometimes or most times seen as somebody who has been bought or paid, or actually was created to become something to make the man who he's supposed to be. And growing from that culture, it was my also belief system to an extent. But I saw that that wasn't making people happy. That wasn't making marriages happy. In as much as we started by making a lot of conversation and changing some of those beliefs, not all of them eventually were left at the beginning. You know, something you have been brought up for over years, you know, from your birth to when you're in your 20s. Some of them have become very unconscious inside you. And some of those beliefs are extremely very funny. I remember a particular time she asked me to carry her back, and I stared at her like, "Are you normal? Are you okay?" So, has the friendship now become where I will carry your bag or hold my bag, you know? But I look
now
back
hold
now.
no be carry, hold back.
You know, but like you say, you know, I remember those things now. I laugh. Now I can even carry her on my head. But you see, these systems are very, very strong. Yeah.
That's a very good one. Very, very, very. And it comes, I think, more. I think when we get married, we actually all want a good, happy marriage. Then the belief system sets in and directs us differently from where we intend to go to. So if they ask you, what do you think? Mimi, what do you have if I ask this question? I want to ask one important question. Actually,
No, our upbringing and seeing our parents, how they outplayed their own marriage. And looking back and looking at the whole thing, we know they were not really happy. They could have done more if they knew more. We have the opportunity of knowing more. So we need to go back and fix ourselves, align ourselves with what works. Just as he said, what works, not what we assume or we think or what we imagine that will work. So it's really an enlightening time, enlightening journey, actually. And with each season, things change. So you keep changing.
My husband and I had the same struggle. You know, coming from our marriage, we just assumed, it will work. You know, if you're a Christian, marriage has to work. That was what we felt. If you're a Christian and you have the wrong belief system, marriage is not working anything.
And if you don't work your marriage, it will not work.
So I remember it took 7 years for us to begin to have that conversation. And in that conversation, we realized that there are many things we actually think that are right that have no basis in marriage and can't help your marriage. And I pray that people listening, usually this meeting starts 7, but today we have to go 6. I guess people will key in 6:30. But notwithstanding, they will listen to the recap. So the main question I want to ask today is, how do you understand your belief system, and how do you change it to work in favor of your marriage and your spouse? So that's the first question for us. And we'd like to hear from both of you, and anyone can start.
Okay.
So if I got your question, you said how can somebody understand their belief system and how can they change it to work in favor of their marriage?
Okay. Yes, exactly.
All right. So I'll start this way. To understand your belief system, you have to identify it. You have to consciously seek to know what is my belief system. And the simplest formula I like to share with people is to know your belief system. You first of all start with the outcomes that you're getting, how your marriage is, how your relationship is that how you want it to be? Is that the desired outcome? If you check, the marriage is the desired outcome. Now, because it takes for two to tango, Nedum could say that, oh, having that male dominance is giving him the marriage he desires, according to his own definition. But then me is not giving me. So it's not about you. It's about both of us saying, is this marriage the way we want it? Is it giving us the desired results? If it's not now giving us the desired result, then what do we need to do? Because there's something we call in family systems, the triangle of life. To say that your belief system is what either consciously or unconsciously influences your behavior. And your behavior now gives your outcome. So that means that if your husband, like, he didn't want to carry my bag, I begin to fight the fact he didn't want to carry my bag. I'm fighting the wrong fight. Because the fight is a fight of belief system.
Yes.
Because
not of the
belief
bag
system that made him behave that way. So if you now feel that this is not the outcome we want in our marriage, you want to now begin to trace, why am I acting this way? And if why I'm acting this way, what is making me act that way? Is your beliefs. Sometimes you can ask couple, list 5 beliefs you have about marriage. They'll just be looking at you. List 5 beliefs you have about your role as a man. List 5 beliefs you have about your place as a woman in this marriage. Because whether we like it or not, our beliefs are influencing us unconsciously. So we might as well make them conscious so that we can take care of our outcomes. So that's how to identify it. Then if you are now saying, how do you change it? Now, if it was me alone and I identify a belief that is not serving me, I can take a personal decision to work to change it. But if it is his belief that is obstructing the system,
yes,
I can't change his belief by myself. Because now he believe what he believes, and it's what he believes is making him act the way he does.
Exactly.
So communication can never be ruled out in a marriage. And in communicating to him, guys, see how this thing is doing me. The manner of approach now becomes, so everything is woven in this belief system. Because if I come to tell him how his behavior, which is based on his belief system, is affecting me, and I say it in a nagging way, I say it in a way where he feels attacked, that belief system is not going anywhere.
Yes.
So it must be said in a way that the person doesn't feel judged. And then it's an ongoing conversation. So you can identify it by knowing if the results you are getting in your marriage is what you want, and then you trace it back. And then you can change it, first of all, if it's the one you need to change by yourself, because Organa will say he can carry me on his head. So now if it's the one I notice and is not willing to change, then that's the place of tolerance and compassion in letting him know how this is not serving us, but saying it with love and not with judgment.
I like that. And I like the triangle of life, especially where you said our belief system affects our behavior and the outcome is seen in the things happening in our marriage. For me, that's very key. Because sometimes, I remember when people act out certain things, we're addressing what they're acting out, but we're actually not dealing with the root of the problem. So it keeps repeating itself and we're upset that it's not working. And the truth of the matter is that if we deal with it properly from the belief system, communicating with each other what we really need, and consciously, because it's a journey of life, it's a lifetime journey. We learn and relearn and learn. We see ourselves better for it, because I think that's it, and it's a very big key. Sir, do you have anything to add, or do I throw one beautiful question?
Our belief systems are those strong convictions we accept, especially from our upbringing, our environment, and our experience. I remember a particular story. When I was about to marry, my father called me. I'm the first child of 9 children, and being his firstborn, he felt he needed to give me some tips. And he told me that in Igbo language, this will be and be strong. Now you are a man. What does it mean? I should watch, I should be strong, I should have a lion heart, and I should not open myself to women because they will tie me like a rapper. And this was a lovely, candid advice from a father to his son. And being married for closely 30 years, you can imagine, I believe strongly that he is much, much experienced in this journey. And being a father you look up to, you love, you accept his word as truth. So the question now becomes, what are the truths you have held on so strongly that you do not question? You lack the tools to question the realities. You lack the experience. You lack the knowledge to question these beliefs. But you just go on because they were transmitted to you by people you reverence, by people you idolize, and people that are important to you. So some of them, we do not have permission to choose those beliefs. It becomes a way of us interpreting our life experiences we found ourselves in. So some of these beliefs, for you to know your beliefs, is to question your actions.
Yes.
How do you arrive to the actions about what happens to you in life? Questions the outcome, questions the behavior, questions the thinking pattern. From that moment, you now begin to know your belief system in different aspects of your human life. You begin to question why you accept some things and why you don't accept some things. Why certain things are false and why certain things are true. Why certain things you can die for it, why certain things you can stand up for it. The moment you look at your lifestyle and the outcomes of it, you now begin to question that it exactly is a result of what you believe. So the the second one is to now write down what makes you believe these things, which comes to the place of questioning these beliefs. How did you arrive to believe these things? Who told you these things? Are these beliefs true? Are they eternal? Are they godly? You question these beliefs because in the first place, you had no idea of questioning beliefs. So when you begin to question these beliefs, the people who gave you these beliefs, the tradition that gave you these beliefs, the people, the environment that gave you the beliefs, you now begin to see sometimes some good, some errors, some half-truths, and something which are absolutely rubbish.
Yes.
So by identifying such, you now begin to question your convictions. How will this bring the kind of life, the kind of result I want? So the last step is now to say, is the belief change? I need to put on new beliefs. I need to accept new beliefs. I need to let go of these beliefs that are no longer working, no longer serving me, no longer giving the kind of life I want and I want to experience. And once you begin to replace them with empowering new beliefs, those old beliefs will gradually, they don't go out in a day. They don't go out in a day. Even at this moment, there are some of them that are still there in your subconscious that you are not aware of.
Exactly.
You begin replacing them with empowering godly beliefs, expanded awareness. Gradually, you are refining your subconscious with some of the beliefs that are true, that are serving you, and that are serving humanity.
Thank you so much. That's very, very good.
That's very
true. Some of these beliefs, and we know that they like call it the bad thing, is that because we don't want to even learn, we hold on to those belief systems. Imagine holding on to something that is detrimental to your success in life and calling it the only way you know. I want to I want to throw a question. But before I throw that question, I want to ask something very key. I went to the market recently, and there was a conversation that was going on in the shop I went to. The ladies were just talking about that all men sleep around. And I kept asking them, why use the word all men? They say, all. I asked the question, your sons? They say, our sons, of course. I said, your sons? He said, yes. And I began to understand that though we women want a better marriage, our belief system can't even give us what we desire. Because without knowing or knowingly, we have given the men the accolade that this is the way it should be. Then we sit down and murmur. Now, I want to ask you, sir, how do we treat this thing? Because it's becoming a cankerworm in our society, where adultery seems to be the norm, and people can literally tell you that men were created to have several wives. That is, they have this, I don't want to say it, how do I put it? That if a man does not have, is not sleeping around and does not have other wives, the man is missing out on something. So I want you to look at it now. I guess it's a belief system. What can we do? How do we work with it? Because it's destroying so many marriages, and we are saying nothing. We become to accept it as the truth. First of all, is it?
Yeah. We know that
all men cheat, irrespective of how good the marriage is.
Nature abhors vacuum, and every information that is passed there is being accepted by some people, being held on with by some people, and taken as conviction by some people. My challenge I see around building relationship that has fidelity is that those who have it don't say it. Those who have it don't mention it. They don't come to the limelight. They say, hide it, be secret about it. Now, once those who are not having it right, those who are out there saying this is the way life can be, in a wrong manner, in a wrong direction, they push that narrative so strongly in every form of human information, whether social, whether physical. So it becomes a conversation, it becomes a narrative, and it turns to be the belief system. So what we are doing right now here is coming out to begin to air our beliefs that these things are not the way it can be. There are good marriages, there are flourishing marriages, there are marriages, and there are men who have stand the test of time of these values, so that the younger generation can begin to look up to us, not in our silence, but in our advocacy, in our legacy, and how we are saying it consistently and living it. Today, we lack such models. Why? Because they are hiding their identity, that they don't want to be known, they don't want to show. And of course, those who want to say this is how it is are all over in media, print media, and saying, don't worry, don't believe them, this is not possible. So that narrative is what we want first counter. And I am so happy that NG and Rich are in the forefront of promoting family values, promoting marriage values. And we need more people like you and us to be shouting these things on the rooftop, wherever it's possible, with our children, in our neighborhood, in the church, in the workplace, wherever we found ourselves. Let us say that this is a narrative that is true. This is possible. This can be living. So the first thing is the advocacy. The second thing is the modeling. We must model it. We must say this is how. So I have young people who come up to say, is this possible? And I will share experiences with them. Real life experiences that they're like, okay, this is what these are the signals, these are what you will see, these are what you will feel, and you know that you are entering into a cool fire. So these are some of the things people don't want to share. And once they are not sharing these experiences, how will the younger generation able to overcome such temptation when they identify such symptoms or such indicators? So they only become a prey because we kept quiet and we kept silent.
I like that they became a prey because we kept quiet. We did not say the truth. And I want to say something, sir, that this truth, I think the onus falls on our husbands. Why is that good men tend not to speak out as boldly? We women can be loud when we want to be loud. How do we make our husbands? So let me tell you an example. When we start keeping marriage alive, elders will call me, Angie, keep it quiet, keep your good marriage quiet. If it comes out, people will destroy it. So they even put the fear of God in you. But when you know that keeping quiet, the society is not improving, so how do we go about it to come out? I'm telling you, people will call me on phone. Angie, we love you, but you see, good marriages don't talk about it. People don't talk about it. How would they know that they are good marriages? You know, this smiling.
Calling you people, as in people.
Yes, so
my mother was praying for us that we should have this thing. Enter your house. Then at a particular time, when I was not feeling too well, and we still did the couples getaway. She was saying, Agwangini, if I attack, this is an attack, and you still carried it to come here. I've told you, nobody is happy that your marriage is working, and you're coming to now tell them yourself. That's why they are throwing attacks at you. So your own even try. Now people tell you, this one, my way from me.
So both families and outsiders want us to keep the truth away. But till we share the truth, there will be no change. So we encourage everyone listening, anytime you're listening to this, if you have a good marriage, share your story. That's the only way your children will learn. That's the only way society, we need to tell our stories. We can no longer pretend.
And then, I wanted to say something in line with what we're talking about
Yes.
telling our stories. And remember the story I shared from the beginning about how we began to notice that we had similar values and belief system. Even amongst the Christendom, let's even imagine that a man cheats. And first of all, I want to say something. When they say that all men cheat, we might as well be saying all human beings cheat, because the men cheating are not cheating with dogs. They are cheating with women.
I like that one.
So if all men cheat, that means all women cheat, because they are cheating with women. However, we cannot even say that all men cheat, because what is the statistical study?
Exactly.
We have over 7.7 billion people in the world. So let's even assume that in Nigeria, the last census, they said we are 200. Let's imagine that we have not even increased. Out of the 200, there should be at least up to 70 million men, Abi? If they say women are more. So for somebody to say scientifically and with social proof that all men cheat, then you must have evidence that 3/4 of 70 million people cheat before you can say all men cheat.
And
it's absolute.
And when you say all men cheat, from what your angle you're saying, if we say we have 70 men and we have like 100 women, it means that 70 million women are cheating with the 70 men.
So human beings cheat for different reasons, which is not the scope of what we're discussing today. But in line with what you are saying about us coming forth with our story, it starts first from educating the members of the Christian community how we deal with somebody who comes out with the opposite story. So imagine if somebody cheated and is open. The stigma, the story.
Exactly.
But then the people in the world, so to say, will embrace him. Boy, you be guy. They'll make human being. So the community there and the acceptance seems to be more than in our own. And even what we are saying, if you are sharing now, maybe they are talking somewhere. If they are talking, I must tell you my personal experience, and they are saying all men cheat. I know they open my mouth saying my husband know they cheat too. Because I don't get power for the story. They will now say, I'll be there. Just be deceiving yourself. My sister, just be thanking God, say you never catch up.
Exactly.
For the wahala. So let's do it, but let's keep telling our own side of the story and be open to receive people who err. Because even if somebody cheated and comes back to his senses, it doesn't make the person a forgotten child.
Yeah, exactly. I like that, separating the scene from the person and the actions taken, because I think that's one of the key things. So even people want to step out of their belief system. We are so human beings like communion, mixing all people. One of the reasons why we actually keep our belief system, because we want to belong to a certain class of people we are used to. So one of the risks we must take, if we must actually question our belief system, is understand that we will lose certain relationships for the journey. And and those relationships are part of the things we have to let go if we really have to win this journey. So I think you want to say something.
Yeah, you asked me a question, why are the men not in the front of advocating for good marriages, beautiful marriage? I just want to share that once a man starts putting forth how relationship can work, how marriage is beautiful, how he's loving his wife, he's labeled a woman rapper.
Exactly.
So, and within your folks of men, they were like, is it that one that the wife have died? Is it that one that is now a husband? They've turned him to a woman. He's coming to tell us. So sometimes people are not so bold, you know, because of the perception within this peer society and peer pressure, whereby you go within your contemporaries and you want to say about how good and great marriage is and how you are, I say, you that they have done juju on your head and you don't do it.
Wow.
So you don't have that fervency, you know that you are evangelizing. It's when you are in fire as evangelist, you know this kind of fire, you don't care. So that is the apron men should carry these days. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you define me as. I know who I am. I'm promoting this. I am enjoying this. I'm believing it. So the conviction will come in such a way that some people will catch the fire. Not everybody, but some people will catch the fire. Then some people will begin to ask you deeper questions. This could be one-on-one. And before you know it, gradually the transformation begins to happen. So we must shun out what people will label us as and say, this is what we are enjoying. You have your reservation about your opinion, but this is my reality. And
exactly. And
that's very true. Very, very, very true. Another part of it is that bad news spreads fast. People like gist. They don't like things that have value, that have content, that will bring reformation and change. So we must keep pushing our own message. Just as I said, push it. It's a lonely walk out there.
Very lonely.
Very lonely walk. Don't expect accolades, but the people that you are talking to come secretly, just as I said, come and ask, how does this happen? And so we must keep pushing. It's a question of messages. The bad news that's spreading it, we keep saying the good message, and God will do the rest for us.
And God, who has kept the relationship, will preserve it. He will really preserve it. So we have just one more question, because I also remember that you have another meeting. Well, this question is, I want to ask both of you differently. If someone comes to you and feels that their belief system is endangering their journey and relationship, what are the key things you would like to leave them with? Tips on how to actually walk this journey. You have shared some things, but I want you to leave final tips on, say, okay, 1 + 1 can guide you, 2 + 2, so that they can understand how to interpret this into their life and marriage. Thank you.
Tips on belief change. Now, first of all, I'll struggle with giving the tips, and I'll tell you why. Because for you to successfully change a belief, you want to identify the belief. So the first assignment, let me reframe it from tips. The first exercise I will ask the person to do is to go and observe what is happening in their marriage, or what triggers, call it a trigger or a situation or an event that happens in the marriage, and observe it for at least 1 week. So for example, observe how you are living for 1 week or even 1 month, depending on how long it will take them to find the pattern. I want to notice what kind of thoughts come to your mind when those things happen, either before you take the action that is upsetting the marriage, or after the action has been taken. What thoughts do you come to you? Because from that, we can now begin to identify the beliefs. That is, if when I ask the person, can you list some of the 5 top beliefs you have around marriage and your role as either man or woman? And the person cannot list, then I'll send the person on this journey to go and do that and notice the patterns.
Exactly.
But if the person is able to list a belief and say, for example, like my husband said, like I'm the boss of the house, it's what I say that must happen, my wife cannot argue with me, my word is the final say. Okay, so that's an identified belief. I'll ask the person some questions. Okay, this is the belief you hold. Number 1, is this belief serving you? Is it helping you achieve the kind of marriage you want? Not be me, they tell you to change the belief.
Yes, so
have to know whether you want to change it or you want to keep living like this. Because Shebi then tell us, say that doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is like madness.
Yeah.
So if this belief is giving you this result, is this the result you want? And you say no. Okay. I ask you a second question. the atmosphere in your home, based on this belief, is it conducive for you? Do you feel how you want to feel when you come back home? Do you feel how you want to feel in this marriage? If it's yes, we leave the belief now because it's producing result for you. But if you answer no,
exactly,
it's not giving you the outcome you want, it doesn't make you feel the way you feel, and it becomes now, because you want to first of all get people to that place of awareness. If you come and start telling him times have changed, this is not a time that a man tells
he won't, he or she will not understand it.
It will be getting long. He will tell you that that's how our fathers used to do it, and our mothers remained in the marriage. You go come, they fight ancestors, we don't die.
I like the ancestors we are fighting.
The day I heard this saying, I just carried it and saved it somewhere. That culture is peer pressure from dead people.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Please repeat again. Oh, that is what I'm going to say for you. Culture is what?
And when we are saying the culture is disempowering culture, because we want to be sure that it's not everything about our culture that is not
exactly. Yes.
So the one that is not serving you, but you hold on to it. So now, so our papa they do it. Now, so my forefather do it. You are just suffering peer pressure from people that have died. Culture, limiting culture is peer pressure from dead people. So if we leave, so if I just ask you that question, you say it's not giving you your result. It's not making you feel the way you want to feel. The next question is, if there is another belief that you can hold and it will give you the results you want, it will make you feel the way you want. Is this something you want to pick? And I won't even tell you the new belief. I will not ask you, based on this one, what do you want to believe in that context?
Exactly.
You go use your hand, choose. Then we'll still test it again. No? So with this new belief now, do you think it can give you the results you want? You go say, make you go live go and practice and see. Okay, go and practice, then we know. Then as you practice it, is it creating that mutual conducive environment and energy within your home? If it is not creative, we don't change belief with that now without
yes now exactly. So what you're invariably saying about the okay, let me not use the word the guidelines, is that the journey is dependent on you. Only you can set yourself free, and you must first of all be able to see it.
You must ask yourself.
Yes, and when you ask yourself, it's like the questions open your eyes to who you really are and the actions you're taking. And only you can make a decision. People can guide you, but you have to accept that this is not working and I need to change it. Easy for it. You know, I just want to share, when I was quite younger, my parents had a very toxic relationship. So when people come to visit, when I was in school, people would tell me, my parents went on vacation, they were laughing together. In my mind, though, I'll be laughing. I say, oh, these pretenders, we're in the same boat. Our parents are fighting, and it never occurred to me that my reality wasn't the truth. And many of us have begun to define our reality as the truth and enforce it on everyone to accept as the truth. Till I met this family that welcomed me to their house. The first night in their house, I said, there was no fighting. I said, it's a lie. I was waiting, I waited. You're just conversing, they were gisting. For the first time in my life, it dawned on me that my reality had nothing to do with the truth. And I thank God for that time of my life, because that's what saved my marriage. When we got married, my husband also came with the belief that marriage should be mind your business, I mind my business. I remember asking my husband our third year, could we be best of friends? He said, best of friends. Yeah, my wife. As in, if you're my wife, automatically you cannot be my best friend. I said, I'm gonna be friends. I said, no, you're my wife. But because I had seen it play in someone else's life, I was able to know that what we were holding wasn't the right thing. Thank God my husband was able to buy into it after several issues in our marriage and so far.
We can't hear you, Rich.
We can't hear.
They can't hear you.
Oh, it's a humbling experience.
I can hear you now.
When you come with your beliefs, how you want to set your home, and see those beliefs not getting any results, and now have to learn new ones and incorporate new ones in with your spouse, because that's who you are living with. That's what you're doing life with. So it's quite humbling, and it's good. We must keep learning, keep changing, keep looking out for better methods and ways to get ahead in our marriages.
Before you round up, one of the people online wants is raising her hand. Please, Thelma, can you speak? I think you have a question or a comment.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, it's been an amazing, it's been amazing. But I do have a question and a comment. In terms of some of the things that's been said, belief system, because I remember when your husband just said something that it was what his father told him when he was getting married. Jisio Bigike, it's like be a man or this thing, because that is something he knew. And looking at the new generation, because sometimes our belief system also somehow still affects the way we make decisions, the way we do things. What would you advise the young generation, people like us that are still young, trying to bring up the new generation on the best way to start changing those mindsets? Because sometimes, as you said, we need to start working on the mindsets, because I think previously parents said it was a man's world. And when men had multiple women, they were applauded. They were, oh, you've done well, you've done well. And when the man was more of a good man, he had the one wife, they called him a weakling. So what do you suggest? How do we start making changes so that our new generation can show better examples? I don't know. So what do you suggest, and how do we start this change?
Okay, sir. Over to you, sir.
Okay. We've shared, I think the first thing is modeling and mentoring. Modeling and mentoring. Modeling has to do with showing examples. And mentoring has to be a structured, systemized relationship that involves teaching, conversation, questions, awareness, and information. One of the things that modeling does is bringing the person closer in an environment where he will see a pictorial representation of the ideal behavior of a man, of the way a man ought to live, and the way a man will live as a father, as a husband, and as a friend. And to be very sincere about it, I have had younger people who come around me and said, if you can do this and play and gist with your children, with your wife, that means it's doable. So they have not seen this idea of lifestyle in their entire life. So some of them picked their courage because they saw or they were in an environment where it was modeled, where the man did not feel threatened by the growth, development, and exposure of the wife. In fact, he saw the man encouraging the wife to do the best she can be, support her. He said, wow, this is lovely, this is beautiful. That is modeling. Mentoring comes where you now systematically teach how you can change your thinking and your belief in order for you to accept this new lifestyle that you are not used to. It's a struggle. But I believe that we can learn and unlearn and relearn. It's always a process. So the mentors need to also have patience with this young generation because they are also struggling. Their behavior change is not a one-day thing.
At all.
It's not replacing your car engine. It's not replacing your furniture in the home. Some of the strongholds are so deep-rooted. So apart from the skills that we need in mentoring, we need to also have patience and encouragement and support for this younger generation. And I think with these two being the main keys that are important, the process will gradually evolve.
Just to add to this, I am, one of the things when I and my husband were in a crisis in our marriage, we went around looking for people, and everyone was just telling us, manage it now. All of us, they manage them. So why we built communities like Couples Hangout, Family Alive Bootcamp, is for people to see like-minded people who believe that marriage is workable. And we encourage couples, if you're in this kind of communities, you will literally talk to yourself. I have one of the men that came some years back. He came home, he called us and said he had never seen this. I've seen men being sensitive to their children, their wife, the women being so involved in their marriage that he was shocked. So when we build, let's look for community like-minded men, women who believe in such things. And I think it really helps. I remember, and finally, because I know you are running out of time, finally, I remember my husband and I, when we work in business together, we also work in keeping marriage alive together. Now, my husband's belief system, remember what I said a while ago, it was, if you're my wife, we can be friends. So now, not only are we planning to, we're building friendship, but we're building to be corporeneurs together. So what we had to look for, a community of corporeneurs, and in seeing them, it made our journey easier. So for couples, we ask you to belong to communities. What funny thing is that people believe that they don't need it. We need it. You have business communities, we need marriage communities everywhere on earth.
Whatever you see displayed registers more than whatever is told you.
Exactly. So anything before we round up, because I know we are fast, man. I like this. See these twins, the way they are hinting. Any final words as we let you go?
Okay, yeah, we've had a great conversation. I totally enjoyed myself, and I just wanted to add to it. Whilst my husband has shared tips on how to influence the younger generation to begin to imbibe belief systems that can serve them. I want to put my last word in terms of parenting. How beyond just as modeling to our own children how marriage is done and them learning from us, we want to also pay attention to raising children who can think and reflect.
Yes.
Because our home may not present all of the scenarios and challenges that they might face in life or in their own relationship. But if they know how to be in a situation and know how to look at the situation, analyze it, come out with options based on consequential thinking, what would this cost me, what will I gain, and they are able to take decisions, then we are rest assured that even no matter the challenge they may face in their own relationship,
they will make the right decisions.
They will be able to surmount it because we have taught them how to think.
Exactly.
So that's what I wanted to add.
Exactly. And this you said is very key. You see, when our children were growing up, we were used to telling them what to do. But when they became teenagers, we knew that the best gift to give them was for them to think for themselves. And that transition is very key. At the teenage age, they think for themselves and we guide them and we get it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know, because when we asked them, they said they had another meeting. This will be shared all over, and also the link will be shared to you. I don't know. These are great counselors. We have a lot of things in common. Hey, we have the case. They both have the case. Children, we have the case. So when I count people I really respect, because let me tell you, few marriages practice what they preach. Very few marriages. So as in couples, rather. So when I see couples like you two, Dim and Nedum, it gives us assurance that God is faithful, that we are not so few. You know, remember when, I think, who was that said, I'm the only Christian standing, and he said, no. Many prophets said there are 7,000 still standing. So that's what we're asking today. So thank you so much. Thank you. May the Lord continue to bless the work of your hands as we let you sign off. Thank you so much. God bless you.
God bless you. KMA is our tribe, so we're all.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. So, finally, let's just do this announcement. For those joining in, we have two sides of the storybook. Please endeavor to buy this book. This book is key. It helps you to ask the right questions concerning your belief system and get you to make proper assessments and proper decisions so you can get a right outcome for your situation.
Various scenarios, life scenarios that happen to us, so you can imagine and think through them and look at how it reflects on you.
And gives you, so that you're able to guide you to make a right decision. For everyone that have listened today, we ask you to join the Couples Hangouts. Remember that community is the way forward. And if community is the way forward, Couples Hangouts should be one of the things you shouldn't miss. Buy into this The stories you're sharing and having issues you're having can be solved simply by this. And want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The links will still be shared. If you're listening via YouTube or Zoom, we say to you, share, comment. Let's change the narrative. Marriage is beautiful and is worth doing again.
Yes, there are several benefits of marriage, and the fullness of it comes when you pick from here, you learn from here, and you practice consistently. Yes.
We are still learning, and it's all saying thank you for joining in. God bless you.
See you next time.
Bye.